Hello guys and welcome to my next TV series review. This is going to be a review for the Netflix TV series with Paul Rudd, and this is going to be for Living With Yourself. I was anticipating this series and it looked pretty cool from the trailer. I think it's a great concept and I was really looking forward to it. I am going to get into spoilers in this review because TV series are quite difficult to really difficult to speak about without doing spoilers. So I'm going to have to do spoilers, unfortunately. If you haven't seen it, opinions now, I think it's really good. I think you should go check it out. It's a very easy watch. There's only 8 episodes, only about 20 to 30 minutes long. And it's a very easy watch. It's a very good time. Let's talk about this season. Let's start with Paul Rudd, because he is phenomenal. And he has not aged since Friends. I mean, he really hasn't, has he? Man, that's impressive. But yeah, Paul Rudd's excellent. Both performances. It's my favorite thing about these characters was just the energy he brought to them, and the contrasting between both of these different clones of himself. I thought was really great. But they never felt like they were different people. They never felt like they were different versions of the same person. They always both felt like they were the same person, just duplicated. And it presented that very, very realistically. And it made you sort of think, what would I do if there was two of myself? And it was quite fun. And I think that's a great concept, especially for a TV show, because TV shows have a lot of time to develop the characters, and this show does that, and it definitely develops both characters very, very well. And actually, my favourite thing about it, which actually isn't Paul Rudd's performance, I think it's excellent. I think both of them are brilliant in the show. You, of course, have the clone one and the normal one. The clone one is a lot happier. He's a lot better at his job and everything, really. And because the other one's sort of struggling with his life. But you can tell where both characters are coming from. You can tell where both sides, because there's sometimes where they're just having a great time. They're just having a conversation about their past that they remember, or the clone has the memories implanted in them. But they're either having a great time, or they're trying to kill each other, or they're trying to steal each other's lives, and it's really, really fun. And the way it subverts your expectations with some of the character choices. But his performance really sells this entire show. But I must say, my favourite thing was the storytelling, because it's told in a non-linear way. And that's something I really, really appreciate. It gives you an episode with one Paul Rudd, an episode with another Paul Rudd, and then it gives an episode with both of them, then it gives an episode showcasing the wife of him. It has another episode of one Paul Rudd, and then another episode of the other Paul Rudd, and then an episode with them together. So it's paced very, very well, and I like how each episode deepens what happens before. It usually has flashbacks, or it shows what happens before. It shows another extra story that happened beforehand, and makes you all put the pieces together. Instead of knowing all the information about these characters straight away, you learn them at this point of time, and then you get to learn more. And it was a very, very well-paced show, and that also added to the intrigue. It made it much more intriguing to watch it this way, and that, besides the concept and the performance, was actually my favourite thing about the show. Is that way it was told in a non-linear way, and it also allowed you to really see both sides of the argument. You really get deep character things for both sides of Paul Rudd's character, or Miles, as he's called in the show, because you have the clone version of him, which you can understand. He just thinks he's he just thinks he's the exact same person he was when he went into the spa. And he comes out and he learns that he's a clone. And all the memories he's had his entire life are completely gone. He was made in a spa, and you can really see the emotion on his face and the distraught on that. But you can also see that he's a lot better of a person in him, and he takes it a lot better than the other one would. And that was really, really impressive. This show doesn't rely on little dialogue to showcase what the characters are feeling. It usually just shows their face. And that was really, really great. The emotion in this show and the character motivations are all there through character expressions and motivations of the characters, rather than just dialogue. And I thought that was really, really clever. And I thought this TV show's storytelling in particular was really, really strong, and especially the character work I thought was really strong as well. And you can understand why the other guy is so mad, why the other Paul Rudd is so mad. He's randomly gone to a spa, he's come back, and someone's taken over his life. And you can see the contrast there, because they are both the same person. It's not like they're two different people who just look the same and act the same. It's not like they're twins. It's not like they're brothers. It's like they are the same the same person with the same memories, and they're not presented in a friendship way. They're presented as it is another person. It's a very complex relationship both of them share, and I thought they explored it pretty well. Let's talk about the other character, and that's his wife in the program. Excellent performance, and there is actually an entire episode, I believe episode 5, which fully showcases her story. And I think it showcases that really, really well. That was a big detract, though, from the pace of the show, and that was a big issue for me when it keeps cutting back, and it shows her entire story beforehand. And it really loses the intrigue, but it really added to that character. And, you know, besides Paul Rudd's characters, her character was really, really fleshed out as well. And I liked her conflict, having to choose between the two of them. And I like what they did at the end. I thought it was really, really special. And I thought they did a really, really good job with the way they do this. This show also utilizes hidden exposition very well. Hidden exposition is sort of where you show one thing for a joke, because they do this a few times, where they have an axe or a gun or a bag he's going to kill him with, or something like that, or a scar that he has on his belly, and you think it's just there, just for that one little joke, just there to show that, and then your expectations are then subverted with that actually meaning more at the end. This is very clever storytelling, and it's done very, very well. There's a lot of moments in the show where a line will be said, or something will be brought up for comedic effect. And a lot of the show is pretty funny, mainly because of the situation, but the drama stuff is also very, very strong. But usually that is done very, very well, and then it comes up again afterwards, at the end of the show, and you realise that was actually there to explain this. And you can see it coming full circle. TV shows use this a lot. The shows like Breaking Bad use this a lot. I mean, that is the greatest show of all time. But yeah, this show definitely uses that to its advantage to have this non-linear storytelling done very, very well. But beyond Paul Rudd's performance and the amazing storytelling and the pretty investing stuff, I did have a lot of issues with this season as well. There's a lot I want to speak about because it's a very, very interesting show and I like to speak about it. But I have to come with some of the issues. I really enjoyed it. It's a very, very easy watch. It's something that really skims past, but it doesn't linger on moments. And this is my biggest flaw with this, and this is a big flaw. This entire season is extremely rushed. It's like the wife finds out about their secret at the end of episode 3. I mean, look at Breaking Bad. I mean, I'm not comparing the show to Breaking Bad in any form way, but I'm just saying his wife didn't find out that he was a drug dealer until, like, season 3. This is episode 3, and the problem is we only get one episode of them together on their own, sneaking about, trying to not let anyone know, because the first episode follows one, Miles, and the second episode follows the other one's story, after the spa and before the spa. Then the third episode is the one episode where we actually see them together. So we really only get one episode of that hiding, and that trying to work together, and trying to work their lives out. And that, in my opinion, should have been an entire season or two. And it really felt rushed. They really tried to get lots of plot points and lots of information about characters in there. We tried to learn about everything about these characters' past straight away. And they really, really rushed, in my opinion, the characters and this story. Again, as I said, it would have been really fun if this entire season was just those two Paul Rudds trying to work out each other's lives, having arguments, having very silly conversations that you would have with yourself. And this show does have that in extremely small bursts. Because again, there is only 8 episodes, and they're only about 20 minutes to 30 minutes long. And that's not enough to flesh all this out in one season. Of course, other seasons would do that, but because the story was rushed, it didn't give enough time to linger on this moment of the characters. I understand that, yes, she would find out very quickly, and yes, he would get angry with him very quickly and lash out like he does, and want him out of his life instantaneously. And I understand why they would do that. They just needed a lot more smaller moments. They needed to feel more in the moment, in my opinion. It just went very, very quickly. Sometimes it will skip large amounts of time. And sometimes that wasn't done to this show's advantage. I felt it was very rushed. And it was very slapped together, which is my biggest problem with it. Still, it is extremely entertaining, very fun to watch, very conventional, but an extremely exciting concept. It was really, really well done. Paul Rudd is excellent as both characters. The story is great, and I really, really liked it. And I'm interested to see what they do with the season 2. And if they do make another season, I'm interested to see where they take the relationship between Miles and Miles. This isn't supposed to be a really investing, long thing. This is supposed to be an easy watch. This is supposed to be like a really quick thing. Like, you can binge watch this all in one go, and it's sort of like watching a long film. Like, it doesn't take much out of your day to watch one of these episodes, and it won't take long to finish this season, and it really brushes past. I would say one thing though, which is why I think they didn't put too many scenes with them two together in, is because they have both actors at the same time, because they're both played by Paul Rudd, of course, at screen together, and there's so many times where they're on screen together, and it's done really, really well, and I feel like they really shortened it down, because it would have been difficult to have loads and loads of hours of footage of both of them there on screen together, and that would have been difficult for the actors and the editors to get that all together, so that's one reason why it would be rushed, but it just didn't work for a storytelling perspective for me. But yeah, I really liked this. I would highly recommend watching it. I think it's very fun, very funny, has a really fun action sequence towards the end. In terms of where the episodes place for me, first 2 episodes were great, invested me in the characters, and I loved them. Episode 4 and 5 really dipped for me. I didn't like the stories that they were telling, and I felt that's where I really felt it getting a bit too rushed in the story. Episode 6, again, also dipped, but episodes 7 and 8, and 6 actually, I thought were really great, and the last episode I probably thought was the best, besides with the episode 1 and 2. So I really liked this season. I wish it was a little longer. Maybe just make the episodes 40 minutes, just double them in size, have more moments in there. But I understand why they didn't do that. I think it's a very good season. I think you should simply watch it, and I am invested to see more seasons in the future. I'm going to give Living With Yourself a B. I'm also going to give this show a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend checking it out. It's a very easy watch, and Paul Rudd is great in it. Guys, comment down below your opinions on this season if you have seen it, and of course, thanks for watching, and goodbye.